Saquon, I'm curious. You had that moment with Jaylen Carter before the Saints game, and how he played after that. What have you seen from him throughout the year, and how much influence he has on this team?
He has a big influence on his team. He's one of our better players, one of our best defensive players, and he plays. When he's out there, he's unstoppable. You got to count for him, and just seeing his growth, his leadership growth, and his maturity throughout the season, how it's improved, and being on the outside of being a fan of his game and going against him, seeing what he's able to bring. So we're going to continue to need him for the rest of this run.
What went into that moment? Why'd you feel like you needed to go up to him, and have you seen him have confidence after that too? And
I don't think like me going up to him had confidence. I think he had the confidence already. But being a leader on his team, it's your part of our job to go out there and find people that we know is going to be able to make a game-changing play. And I knew he was capable of doing that, so I kind of went up to him and just let him know, like, hey, it's time. Like, it's a moment, and he was more than ready for it.
What does it mean to you on some of those long runs to see star receivers like AJ and Devon?
It's big. It's team football. I've said it multiple times. One of my favorite quotes from Coach Sirianni is, "You can't be great without the greatness of others." And you look at any long run throughout the season, any big play throughout the season, you see multiple guys making big plays.
Did we get a kick out of seeing how quickly some of the offensive linemen or Jaylen will put up the touchdown sign on your
Yeah. We probably got slowed down a little bit on that. They're throwing up a little too fast, but it just definitely helps knowing the confidence that those guys have in me, and look forward to continue to do that.
What has Jaylen meant to the success you've had this season?
It's been big. I want to say it's only Jaylen, but it's all those guys. Every single individual over there, from starters to Kenny to Will, the success I've had this year. It's like I said, you can't be great without the greatness of others, and the way that they push me, the way that they have confidence in me, helps me and makes me want to go out there and play at a high level.
Jaylen said the other day, basically, nobody's been able to shut you down this year. But if anybody came close, it was the Commanders in the second half of that last game. What did they do, and how do you go about not letting that happen again?
I think they sold out on the run, and it worked for them in the second half. I think, grand scheme of things, we still put up 37 points and had the opportunity to win a football game, and ended up in our hands, and we didn't do that. So, we're prepared for whatever they're going to bring. From here on out, any team going against us, the explosive plays that we had running the ball throughout the season, statistically, I think we're one of the best rush teams. So we know that it's going to be a key focus on a lot of teams for especially Washington coming up. But whatever whatever they want to do, we're ready for it. And at the end of the day, our mindset is just winning football games. So however it looks and whatever it takes.
Saquon, first time being in this position, one win from the Super Bowl. Have you thought about that or put that in perspective in your own way?
Yeah, I thought about it after the game. I kind of let my day be Monday, to appreciate it, soak it all in, but watch it at the same time too, and get locked back in and get focused.
So when you mentioned this year specifically, you've talked to some other great running backs in the past, get advice or whatever, Marshall Faulk, things like that. Who are like two or three that you maybe talk to, and what do you kind of get out of conversations with them?
Yeah, I think this year consistently it's kind of been Marshall here and there. I reach out to him. Edwin James gave me some great advice early in this year. That's probably the first two that comes to mind right away. But that's the beauty and the blessing of playing in the league and being a successful back in the league. You get a lot of love from the older guys, and I'm pretty sure there's many guys that I could reach out to and give me great advice.
There are a lot of talk about records with you. There's been talk about it all year. Terrell Davis's record is the most with playoffs combined, but he also had, I think you two are the only 2,000 rushers that have won playoff games now. To you, being the 2,000-yard guy and being a Super Bowl champion, what would that mean if you could duplicate that feat from him and meet his record at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing. It's something that I guess helps with the legacy play, like with my name and being mentioned, what I want to do, what I want to accomplish in this game. But that doesn't happen if we don't take care of what we got to take care of this Sunday. So focusing more on that, and I'm aware of what the record is and how close I am. But like I said, win and move on. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's important. Numbers don't matter. Only thing that matters is winning.
I remember way back when you first got here, one of your first takeaways from practice was looking in the huddle and seeing all these other star players with you. The fact that you've kind of become the big focal point of this offense, even with all those stars, does that mean something to you?
No, because I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it that way. I think that I think football is the best sport, and I've loved it since I was a little kid. And the main reason why I loved it is obviously I have passion for it, and it's something I want to do. But I think it's the greatest team sport, and I think people get lost in that. We forget about that. We'll talk about a quarterback play, and we'll have quarterbacks go against each other. And like this week, I'm pretty sure the media is talking about Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes' record against each other. But that's not it. That's not how the game is worked. The game's a team sport. You could have 9 guys all on the same page and 2 guys are not on the same page. The play won't work. So I don't look at it as who's the stars. Obviously, it comes with it. You might have media deals, you might have commercials, you might have followers on IG, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is how you compete as a team. And if you don't have a great team, it don't matter. You won't be successful. And I think I'm a prime example of that right now.
I know it was only walk through, but how did Jaylen look, and what are you expecting out of him on Sunday?
I'm expecting Jaylen to be Jaylen. He's going to show up for us. He's going to make plays. He's a winner. He got that it factor, like I've said multiple times. And it's on us to go out there, too, and step up. We all got to step up, everybody. It's an opponent that we're familiar with, and they're familiar with us. And, they're playing great ball right now. Got a lot of confidence over there, too. So it's going to take all of us to go out there and win this game on Sunday.
Like on that 78-yard touchdown run you had, you were obviously pretty fired up. You hit your helmet a few times. Was that one of the most excited times you've ever been, ever had in a football game?
Yeah, it's probably my favorite touchdown so far of my football career since I was a little kid. Just the moment, the timing of it, the conversations that I had with myself, the stuff that I've been working on, it kind of all just came together in that moment. But also taught me a lesson too, that which I was still focused, but teaches you a lesson that even in that moment, there's still 4 minutes or how much time is left, and before you know it, we're at the mercy of Matthew Stafford driving down the field. So, yeah, one of my favorite moments, but it's playoff football. You got to make the play and move on.
Why'd
Have
you
you
hit yourself in the head?
watched it much? Just to follow up, have you watched it a lot? I mean, it's everywhere. The clip is everywhere.
I've watched it in film, and I've seen clips on IG. I've seen, like, my favorite one I've seen is, like, the NFL Films one, and they have, like, the old school music behind it. I think that's cool to me because I remember being, however old I was, watching NFL films and hearing music like that and watching, the top 10 rushers of all time or the top 10 this and top 10 that. And so I think that was probably like the coolest one I've seen so far.
Why'd you hit yourself in the head?
I don't know. Now that I go back and look at it, I don't know why I was doing that. I was crashing out, as the kids would say.
How are you feeling physically coming off, a game with that many carries, playing in the snow? Just how do you feel?
I feel great. That's what I trained my body for. It's what I trained all season, what I trained during the season. So, yeah, the amount of touches, however many yards I've had, the point of the season that we have, I feel great. I feel really good, and I'm excited for Sunday.
Obviously, the stakes will be higher, but even just playing a division rival for a third time in a season, how do you balance like the intensity that game will have with, kind of making sure that you are within, I guess, keeping control of emotions and stuff like that?
Fortunately, I've been a part of it. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of it, playing the team 3 times. And, I think in those games, what matters the most is it really comes down to who wants it more. All that, how everyone's playing, how confident you are. I've been on the side where, we just beat Minnesota, number 2 or number 3 team or seed, I forgot what they were, on a road win. And, we came in to Philly with all the confidence that we're going to come win that football game. And before you know it, we blinked, it was 28-0. So these games are going to come down to what football's all about. You got to establish a line of scrimmage, create turnovers, don't turn the ball over, make explosive plays, and find a way to get in the end zone. and stop them from getting in the end zone. So everyone could get caught up with the emotions and division rivals and this stuff like that. All that stuff is just nonsense. It don't matter. It matters what you do on the football field.
You guys had turnovers early in the season and a bad takeaway margin at the bye week. Why do you think that problem was solved and you guys turned that around?
Nick Sirianni and Coach Singleton, they beat in the head. The ball. Every week, every day of the week we start practice or start film with ball security. And we know the stats behind it. If you take care of the ball, the chances to give you to win football games, knowing that even if you do turn the ball over, you still could win. But ball security, the drills, just our scout team, I'll probably say that's probably the biggest thing too. Our scout teams we got some really good players on scout team right now, to be completely honest, that hopefully, one day they get their shot and they get their chance. But the way that they attack the ball, sometimes it's harder to go against those guys than it is against other teams.
Anyone in particular stand out on the schedule?
There's so many of them. First one probably for me would be Trot, because he's a linebacker, so I see him the most. But there's so many of them. All those guys, they do a really good job of, attacking the ball, playing with speed. Sometimes the looks are harder against them than it is on Sunday.
AJ said that's been elevated even since the playoffs started in terms of focusing on making sure you guys don't give the ball away. How does it get elevated? Just mentioned even more, or the jabs we see it in practices.
Yeah, I think it's mentioned more, the jabs, but the beauty of it, we've been doing it all year. Obviously, I know we weren't as successful in the beginning, but even when we weren't as successful, we still were being in the head. So when you get to the playoffs and you get to big-time football, you fall back to the basics, you fall back to your details, and you fall back to what you've been doing all year long. So it just transferred over for us in the playoffs, and we got to continue to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.